Hello and welcome. This is our special program and I'm Gamachi Samandida, your host. As Armenia continues to strengthen its diplomatic relations and actively participate in global initiatives, two prominent figures stand at the forefront of these efforts. His Excellency Shak Sargsyan, Armenia's ambassador to Ethiopia, offers valuable insights into the long-standing bonds between Armenia and Ethiopia, highlighting opportunities for deeper collaboration across cultural, economic and diplomatic spheres. Meanwhile, His Excellency Mr. Meher Margarian, Chief Negotiator of Armenia's presidency of COP17, shares Armenia's vision and strategic priorities for advancing global biodiversity protection during one of the most significant environmental conferences of the decade. Stay with us. Gentlemen, welcome to our program. And I just would like to begin with the inauguration of the GERD. This is one of the most important days for Ethiopia's leaders from different countries have arrived and they are celebrating, they are cheering with Ethiopian leaders. I just would like to ask you how you feel about it. Mr. Ambassador, may I just start with you?
Well, let me first thank you for this opportunity. The GERD is Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Project is a mega project, as we all know, and finally, you had an inauguration ceremony today. It's, as ambassador, I joined the festivity that your people, Ethiopian people, our brothers and sisters, have been celebrating. Like I said, it's a mega project. It's a big project, and our hope is that all nations, first of all Ethiopians, will benefit from this project. It's a very important project when it comes to the hydropower and also the access to the water, etc. And like I said, it's our hope that everyone will benefit, not only Ethiopians but also the region in general.
Yeah. Okay.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Margarian, would you have?
Well, I just want to add to the words of Ambassador that we wish this new project to be benefit of Ethiopia and larger region, and from my perspective as COP17 chief negotiator, to make sure that biodiversity is sustained in that area and developed further.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Ambassador, I'm asking you regarding the historical bonds between Armenia and Ethiopia, and how do you explain these shared roots, that influence the modern relationship between our two nations?
As you may know, Armenia and Ethiopia, they enjoy a strong historical bonds dating back to many centuries. To the early Christianity, the Ethiopian Tewahedo Orthodox Church and Armenian Apostolic Church are the one among the oldest Christian churches in the world. Of course, we had historical interactions between these two the churches throughout many centuries. And historically, Armenians have had a significant presence in Ethiopia, where they were fully embraced by into the society. Ethiopian society became an integral part of the country's social and cultural fabric, contributing to the development and modernization of your country, while also serving as a bridge between our two nations, the natural bridge. The Ethiopian Armenian community made significant and lasting contributions to art, music, trade industry, even the government of Ethiopia. Just to give you a couple of examples, the first national anthem of Ethiopia during the Emperor Haile Selassie time was composed by an Armenian man, who himself was a conductor of the first imperial orchestra of Ethiopia, and composed of Armenian orphans. There is an interesting story going back to the last century, in 1920s. Rastafari, then Rastafarian to become emperor, he visited Jerusalem and he came across to the group of Armenian children, and then he realized through the patriarchate in Jerusalem that those are the orphans of Armenian genocide, and he liked these children very much and he wanted to invite them to Ethiopia It was basically the orchestra composed of these children to become, imperial orchestra. So this is the story about 100 years ago. So another good example would be to indicate is, it comes to the contribution of Armenians to Ethiopia, is to Adva battle. Sarkis Terzian, another Armenian, very close associate of Emperor Menelik II, was the person who could, within a very short period of time, secure a transfer of then modern armaments and ammunition from Europe to the place of Adva battle. And so it was a bit, without any exaggeration, a game changer in the battle. So in a way, they contributed to the historic victory. And Ethiopians are very proud of this victory, so does the entire African continent.
I just come to Mr. Margarian. Of course, we know that promoting the conservation and sustainable use of the planet ecosystem and natural resources is one important thing that globally has attracted attention by countries. And we have this COP17, which is a very important event. And how do you think this COP17 plays its peculiar role with regard to conservation and sustainable use of the planet's ecosystems and natural resources?
Well, thank you for that question. COP17 to be held next year in Armenia in October will be a crucial in terms of kicking off the global review of individual and collective progress in the implementation of the global framework, global biological framework, which was adopted back in 2022, which has 4 overarching goals and 23 targets around the conservation, fighting pollution, and 30-30 is an important component of that target, meaning you have to conserve the 30% of your land for future generations, and also to try to rehabilitate the 30% of the degraded land and marines. But of course, in course of COP17, we'll be also encouraging closer coordination between the climate and biodiversity financing mechanisms. That will be one of our priorities, to maximize impact and avoid duplication. And we'll be looking forward to further development of our collaboration with Africa, with Ethiopia, and during as a host of upcoming COP17, Armenia is closely following the current processes related to environment, and the second Africa Climate Summit has been an exceptional opportunity and a very good platform for exchanging knowledge and experience. And I want to congratulate also Ethiopia for the excellent organization of this summit. So we want to make sure that we listen to the voices of vulnerable countries, and we share a lot of vulnerabilities and resilience with Ethiopia and with African partners, and make sure that those priorities are well reflected in course of the upcoming COP17 in Yerevan.
Mr. Sargsyan, I want to go to the 1992 re-establishment of diplomatic ties between our nations, and ever since, of course, we've had growing and improving relations between the two countries. And if I just ask you of the recent developments in sectors such as education, agriculture, economic development, etc., how do you explain this steadily growing relationship between the two nations?
Indeed. Well, with the restoration of Armenia's independence back in 1991 and establishment of modern diplomatic relations between our two countries back in 1992, our partnership was given a renewed impetus with the intention of revitalizing the historic strong bonds that we have. for 1,000 years. Following the visit of our the Minister of Foreign Affairs back in 2019 and establishment, the foundation of our embassy here in Addis Ababa about 5 years ago, those been an important milestone for the, let's say, the modern diplomatic relations. And our bilateral relations began to acquire more practical and tangible dynamics. As we move towards the next decade of our modern relations, diplomatic relations, I'm proud of enduring ties and growing cooperation between Armenia and Ethiopia. In the past 5 months only, I'm talking about just month, we had 4 high-level delegations coming from Armenia, respectively led by Deputy Minister of Education, Culture, Science and Sport, and then Deputy Foreign Minister, and then the Minister of Economy. And just now we have our Chief Negotiator, His Excellency Ambassador Mark Aryan, participating in Climate Summit, Africa Climate Summit, our Chief Negotiator. During this period, we worked closely with our colleagues from Ethiopian various government agencies to prepare, discuss, even initiate implementation of several policies, as well as draft memoranda, agreements. When it comes to the areas of cooperation, we are working closely with our Ethiopian friends and partners to develop and expand areas of collaboration in education, as you rightly mentioned, culture, tourism, IT and digitization, innovation and AI, artificial intelligence, green energy, agriculture, food processing. Those are crucial topics that we are currently focused on. Jewelry and precious metal industry is another aspect that we are currently considering, and the mining sector as well. Connectivity and logistics are, and including dry ports, are very important as well, because our nations, both Ethiopia and Armenia, we are landlocked countries. So connectivity is very much important. And also one of the promising directions in this regard may become Armenia's main airport. It's Zwartnots International Airport by Ethiopian Airlines for diversifying its operations. We've been in touch with CEO and executives of airlines to launch direct flights, because when you have direct flights, it's easier to connect people. Of course, for the tourist flow, but also for the business people, and also for the, the trade in general. And we know that Ethiopian Airlines is the leading airline in Africa and one of the, the major air carriers in the world. So the cargo is also important.
Mr. Margarian, how about, of course, participation of various stakeholders when this COP17 is taking place? Because without the participation of proper stakeholders, it is very unlikely that it comes to fruition or it meets its purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have, of course, indigenous people, civil society, youth and women. And how do you intend, to ensure that, these groups of societies engage?
Well, indeed, Armenia, as host and presidency of COP17, is committed to hold an inclusive event by ensuring the substantial, full and effective participation of all stakeholders, including government, you mentioned non-governmental organizations, civil society, youth, women, indigenous people, academia, and in the run-up to the main event, which will be held in October next year, we'll be reaching out to all sectors of those mentioned to make sure that there is an understanding and that there is information and knowledge that Armenia is committed to host the representatives of all stakeholders to COP17 in Armenia. It will be an opportunity also to further multilateral efforts for global biodiversity protection, ensuring that diverse voices and perspectives are heard. with meaningful, full multi-stakeholder participation. And we need to focus also our efforts to achieving goals of the Convention and the Global Biodiversity Framework to make sure that all stakeholders have their equal share of participation.
Mr. Sargsyan, let's come to mutual benefit from whatever we do. The two nations engage in different activities such as trade, cultural exchange, etc. And which of these activities do you consider to be potentially beneficial for both countries? And in the coming years, which one of them do you want to focus on so that the two countries will benefit a lot?
First of all, I think the education is very important for both countries. And since we had recently our Deputy Minister for Education, Culture and Science and Sport, it's a big ministry in our case. His Excellency had a meeting with his Ethiopian counterparts, and there are invitations actually just recently forwarded to the Minister of Education and also Minister of Culture of Ethiopia to visit Armenia on behalf of our minister. Hopefully it will be done by the end of this year. So as I said, education it contains a big potential, and we are thinking about the exchange programs between the major universities. We already have established cooperation between two main universities of Armenia and Ethiopia, Addis Ababa University in Ethiopia and Yerevan State University in Armenia. They signed memorandum of cooperation a few years ago, and they are about to launch exchange programs between two universities and between students and also the faculty members. And also another example is Oromia State University, and from Armenian side, it's a public academy of Armenia, Administration Academy of Armenia. So these two institutions already have established cooperation. They recently exchanged the faculty members for training purposes. So education is very promising. Tourism has an immense potential because of the historical reasons, because our strong ties and bonds and similarities, the commonalities that we share. And there is a big interest from both sides to promote tourism, and hopefully with the launch of the direct flights, it will increase definitely. Of course, there are many other areas, as I indicated already. IT is also very important. The jewelry sector itself, IT, because Armenia is considered to be the hub of the IT sector in the region. So the jewelry sector is important because, as you may know, Armenian jewelers are quite famous around the world. And we discussed this also with the Minister of Mines of Ethiopia, where we had our Minister of Economy. This sector is under the Minister of Economy. So there are important ideas for exchange of capacity building, etc., between two countries when it comes to the jewelry sector. And I hope very much, and as embassy, we are here to help both sides to collaborate together. I thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. Mulgarian, this COP17 is a very important platform, and especially with regard to exchanging ideas, knowledge regarding climate change, the danger, the risk of having, this climate change on a yearly basis. And how does this COP17 serve as a platform for nations from different parts of the world, Africa, Asia, etc., Latin America, Europe, whatever? How does it serve as a platform to exchange ideas, knowledge?
Yeah, the challenges relating to biodiversity, they concern all the nations. So we look forward to become a platform to advance resource mobilization, to promote inclusive partnership and highlight nature-based solutions. Because this is one Earth that we got, and we need to take care of that. And the Convention of Biodiversity provides for that, and the subsequent decisions adopted at the level of governments, they provide for that. So what is lacking currently is the implementation, and we want to make sure that during our COP17 in Yerevan, we addressed that issue of implementation and review that and review it. And Armenia stands ready in this journey, to work with Ethiopia, with African countries, and all partners towards a successful COP17.
Yeah, Mr. Margarian, I have one concern here. We know some countries are advanced, some others are not advanced, and there are many limitations that stand as a barrier to exchange knowledge and experience. And even some countries don't believe in climate change, and they, with knowledge, exacerbate the situation. For example, by using too much coal that emit carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and that obviously contributes a lot to climate change. And how do you try to convince these people? Of course, they're not convinced when they already know about it, but how do you treat this situation?
Yeah, that's a tricky question. Well, my answer to that would be those states that are party to the Convention on Biological Diversity, and those who took commitments, they need to implement these commitments. As I said earlier, it provides for conservation, restoration, and sustainable use of our planet's ecosystems and natural resources, and to support the health and well-being of the current as well as the future generations. So I think there are national priorities, national strategies that each country had accepted to implement under the Convention on Biological Diversity, and there needs to be a global review towards the implementation of these commitments.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Ambassador, let me take you to what you said earlier, which is, of course, the historical relation between the two countries. And, for example, if we take religion, the two countries share the Orthodox Christianity. And how do you think, just the two nations can use these common denominators, to further enhance their relations in many aspects, in many sectors?
Yes, yes. Of course, we can build on our traditional strong bonds, develop and diversify our partnership, and discover and unravel the potential that exists between our two countries in expanding the cooperation in various fields. We already touched upon a couple of them. Of course, these strong historical ties are very, very important, and like I said, there are areas within the science and education. Actually, just to briefly update you on the couple of important documents the draft documents that our two sides are currently working on, considering. There is an interstate agreement on science and education. Once it's signed and finalized, it will open up new opportunities for both sides. For example, when you're referring to the historical ties between our two churches, the ancient churches that we have, both nations, we can study together, the ancient manuscripts. Even in the near future, we had entertained this idea between two ministries, and also the foreign ministry is important. Foreign ministries are important stakeholders to submit together, the application for joint cultural heritage to UNESCO, because we have a lot of commonalities with Ethiopians, and this, for example, another aspect of cooperation when it comes to the international fora. Of course, LLDC landlocked developing countries are another the important area of collaboration that we already have a good track record of cooperation with Ethiopia within the United Nations. Just recently, in LLDC third summit, the conference which took place in Turkmenistan, Armenia put together a high-level event, and your maritime agency head director was part of it. Of course, the important platform is bilateral political consultations between foreign ministry. It provides in a way, umbrella that we can develop under this umbrella multi-sectoral collaboration, cooperation between our countries. And I'm happy to announce we just recently we held the first ever political consultations between foreign ministries. So this is an important platform to discuss all sectoral collaboration, cooperation areas together. Of course, in the future, we are also open to have joint interstate commission on economic cooperation. We are not there yet, but we are in the direction, in the right track to get there.
Okay, great.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I have, one important question for the both of you. Well, Ethiopia as a nation and Armenia as well, they're ambitious in bringing about economic development that is sought by their people, their citizens. And of course, this requires many things, and one of them is, of course, access to the sea. And Armenia as a landlocked country, Ethiopia the same, it's obvious that they have been badly affected by being landlocked countries. And so Ethiopia is seeking to have access to the sea. And how do you see Ethiopia's efforts in this regard, especially in relation to the fairness of having this kind of need?
So does Armenia, by the way, as you rightly pointed out. Of course, the access to sea is very important, as already mentioned. We cooperate within the LLDC group of the United Nations. And we do understand the concerns of our Ethiopian partners when it comes to having access to international seas, to the sea. I think we are part of, international conventions when it comes to the access to the sea, and as LLDC country, landlocked development countries, we share the commonalities and constraints. Of course, for the business people, for the traders, etc., it's an additional, burden to trade. Let's say if you are the country having a seashore or the coastline, it's easier for you to trade with the rest of the world. But if you're landlocked, you have to put additional, let's say, extra costs to your products to export or import. So it's a very basic issue, and we do, of course, understand, just to articulate the concerns of Ethiopian the side. And I think regardless of the circumstances, whether A country or B country do not have access to sea, they should have they should be on the equal footing when it comes to the trade.
Indeed, the international law and the United Nations relevant conventions and documents provide for landlocked countries to have free access, free or unimpeded access to sea, because there is a certain obligation for the transit countries to make sure that those landlocked countries have access to sea. It's important from many perspectives, and this is a matter of avoidance by the basic tenets of international law.
Yeah, of course, Mr. Ambassador, earlier you said that the two nations are doing very well with their economies. I mean, they're working hard to improve the lives of their citizens, and they have made, improvements a lot. And this has to be supported by having, access to the sea. Unless and otherwise, we secure it, then all these efforts are unlikely to succeed. And so, especially with the reforms the two nations are enjoying right now, how do you see the significance of access to the sea?
Yeah, of course, as already mentioned, it's very important for the population.
Especially
for example,
to sustain
Ethiopia.
it,
Yes,
to sustain
because
this progress.
Yes, unlike Ethiopia, Armenia has a small territory and a small population, obviously. We are around 3 million, but in your case it's more than 100 million. It's a quite big number. So that's why, all people, they born equal, and they have to have the similar or the equal access to all services, and also the opportunities to when it comes to trade, international trade. And that's why it's very important. It's not only the law, but also it's a there is a social aspect of it. You know, the governments, they are striving to, in a way, meet the demands of the population. And as I said, we understand the concerns of Ethiopian side. Of course, there are some political sensitivities. I don't want to go into those details, but we do understand the need for Ethiopia to have access to sea.
Gentlemen, may I ask what New Year message you have for Ethiopians?
As we are approaching the Ethiopian New Year and Meskel holiday, I want to take this opportunity to extend my warmest greetings and best wishes to our Ethiopian brothers and sisters on these important occasions. And as you say, Melkam Addis Ahmet and Kutatash and Melkam Meskel. As you are aware, our nations share ancient Christian traditions, very old ones, with Armenian Apostolic Church and Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church being among the oldest Christian churches in the world. But we also share many other similarities when it comes to the history. For example, before Christianity, ancient Armenians, they celebrated the New Year around the Ethiopian New Year, the current New Year that you observe. For Armenians known as Navasart, the celebration was tied to harvest festival, featuring rituals like blessing of grapes, dedicated to the goddess of Anahit. It's the pagan time goddess. And hanging dried fruits, among other things. We are aware and very much appreciative of old Ethiopian traditions, cultural traditions, which has preserved its own unique calendar of 13 months, and celebrating its New Year on 11th of September, very soon. It is amazing to see how Ethiopians celebrate New Year filled with festivities, getting together, wearing national attire, enjoying traditional cuisine and drinks. Armenians often use the New Year as a time of reflection and to make commitments to ourselves, our families, and also our communities, and mark a new beginning. As we look forward to Ethiopian New Year 2018, let us resolve to work towards more peaceful and thriving societies in both our countries. And to conclude from my side, wishing all Ethiopians good health and happiness, solidarity and unity, peace and prosperity. Again, Melkam Addis Ahmet and Kutatash, and Melkam Meskel.
Mr. Megarian?
Well, Ambassador said it all, but I want to also wish the Ethiopian people to live in harmony with nature and to conserve and sustainably use their resources, resilience, and all happiness.
Your Excellencies, Mr. Sahak Sargesian and Mr. Meher Megarian, thank you very much, especially for devoting your time and coming to our studio and give us this wonderful interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Viewers, our special program ends right here, and next time we'll come up with similar one. Until then, goodbye.